What is good, everybody? It is your boy Batman, and we are over here doing the final part of Noodles reacting to SWAGKAGE's video of Jiraiya versus the AKATSUKI. Now, we have ways to go. We're at 54 minutes, and this video is fucking 2 hours and 7 minutes long for some reason. I don't know why, but it's that long. And originally the video for SWATKAGE, I think, was like only 30 minutes or like 20 something minutes. Yeah, it's fucking 2 hours with Mr. fucking Noodles because he's a ding dong and he thinks he knows everything and he's probably paused it a million times and like know this and know that, and he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. So we're gonna get into this. We're gonna react to it. I'm gonna try to not have as much pauses as I normally do. I'm gonna try to do more of listening for Noodles and for Swag and Seth. And at the same time, if it's really necessary and I gotta say something because he said something really fucking stupid, then I'll say something. If it's something that even you guys know that, you know what I mean, I don't even really need to speak on, and even you guys know like the real deal, and he's just being fucking a ramen pack, come on, you know what I mean? Like, is it really necessary for me to say something then, you know? Like, I know you guys enjoy that about these type of videos, and a majority of you actually really like it for some reason whenever I even react to anything that's related to Noodles, period. For some reason, you guys just fucking love it. You know, like, but regardless, I'm going to try to not have as much because I don't want this video to be too crazy long. But this is going to be the finale of it. This is the final recording. I was going to maybe do 2 more, maybe even 3 more. But I want this to kind of just be over with, and I don't want it to keep lingering and me even forget about it. Because if I'm being real with you guys, I almost forgot about finishing this shit. And I know you guys have been waiting a hot minute for me to conclude. So this is the conclusion of the reaction of this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it, and I hope we don't lose a lot of brain cells.
Was when he was in the AKATSUKI, then Jiraiya smacks him up, like probably very easily. But if you think that...
Alright, so, this statement. It was great finally finding him at the ramen shop, but he's a babysitter of one of the three... But his babysitter was one of the 3 great shinobi of Konoha legend. With him as our enemy, even the titles Konoha's Uchiha clan and 7 ninja swordmen of the mist pale in comparison. Okay, he's talking about the titles and the legend of Konoha, the legends of Konoha. Jiraiya was a famous warrior during the Third War. Famous. Okay, Hanzo was literally one of the most famous villains to ever exist during the Third War, and was like an animal back then. And they got those titles because they were the last 3 to survive against Hanzo. Okay, and they Hanzo murdered the platoon of the Leaf's greatest shinobi, and they were the last 3 alive, and that's why they got named the Sani. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, it's talking about the legend and reputation of Jiraiya. Okay, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but going off of legends and reputations can be misleading. Kisame doesn't actually know how strong Jiraiya is.
So, yes and no. For once, the majority of what Noodles is actually saying right now, it's not like he's just trying to bullshit or say something out of his ass. He is right for the most part so far. The only thing I can contest to where this actually can be reliable, to where this can be a good source of evidence to use as an argument and etc., it's for a character that has consistent showings that are backed up by that legendary reputation, if that makes any sense. For instance, aka Minato. The amount of hype, statements, you name it, and he also has the feats for it as well. It's not just people kind of talking up a storm and it's kind of just like, it could be hearsay or it could just be a hyperbole or overhyped or whatever. Like, nah, like the guy really is the real deal. For Jiraiya and the legendary Soning, the reason why I do agree to a certain extent of what, and especially what Noodles is elaborating on, the main reason is when you really look at the legendary Soning, yes, they're very powerful shinobi and they're no joke, but they cap at a certain level in scaling in Naruto. Especially when we get to the characters like Itachi, you know what I mean, Pain, so on and so forth, or Obito, you know what I mean, like, you're talking, you know what I mean, like, they're powerful, but that's where it really gets, when it really gets tough for them, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, a lot of people actually have the audacity to say that Itachi would lose to Jiraiya based on like this shit being said or whatever, and yada yada yada, when not only is there narrative contradicting evidence to Itachi literally playing the double advocate and the spy and not wanting problems and fighting and not wanting to harm the village and to protect his brother and protect the hidden leaf, yada yada yada. Like, these statements are invalid. They're fucking stupid. Okay? With Kisame, and similar to what Noodles is saying, correct, he really can't gauge if Jiraiya is powerful or not. And based on what he's kind of knows and what he's heard and all of that, that's more of the level of fear or more of him being cautious. You know what I mean? And that's why he's kind of making these statements and kind of saying it. It's not like it's actual concrete statements or like legitimate to like, yeah, nah, they would just get washed up by Jiraiya right there and then. We clearly saw Kisame being able to react to Jiraiya and deal with what he was doing, and then Itachi just does a Mataratsu and they run away. You know what I mean? Like, so come on. You know what I mean? Like, you know when statements are legit. You know when it's either backed up by consistency of feats and etc. You know when it's either hyperbole, you know when it's bullshit, or you know when it's the real deal. That's kind of how it is in Naruto, unfortunately. And a lot of people, like either ratty debaters or even people like Noodles and etc., they like to look at certain statements and really take them for like an actual logical, like, you know what I mean? Like they'll take it very literally and be like, oh, the ramen guy said Naruto's the strongest fucking, you know what I mean, ninja in part 1, even though we all know that's a bunch of bullshit, so therefore he's right. Come on now. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at the context and the overall background, etc., that's not the case. So, he is right for the majority of it, but it can be legit as long as it is backed up by evidence and it's consistent and etc. That's all I'll say on that, if that makes any sense for you guys.
And he doesn't actually know how strong Tsunade is, or maybe even Orochimaru. He didn't work with Orochimaru, so I don't see why he would even know how strong he is. He's basing it off of the legend of Konoha, the title of Sannin, not anything else. Which, if that's all he's going on, Kisame is a very respectable, I was trying to say respectful and respectable at the same time. He is a very respectful and humble ninja. He always gives props to other people. He gives props to Itachi. He gives props to Guy. He gives props to Killer Bee. He's always like hyping other people up. He's actually a pretty humble dude. So it makes sense that he would hype up Jiraiya based on his reputation. Because guess what? In actual speed scaling and strength, Kisame just directly, like, slaps version 1. In fact, someone get the scan of Jiraiya just, like, literally slapping away version 1B. Like, Killer Bee just running at him. Version 1 Killer Bee just rushes at Jiraiya. The same version 1 Killer Bee...
Kisame?
Kisame. Yeah, Kisame, my bad.
I'm like Jiraiya.
Yeah, Jiraiya... Killer Bee and Jiraiya don't fight. But yeah, he just slaps him away. When base Killer Bee can keep up with, like, KCM Naruto at like 8 different instances and can intercept the Raikage, okay? Can do all of these crazy speed feats like hold back.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. He's being a little bit. He's being a ramen pack right now. So there's a couple things I'm gonna shut down real quick. Kisame obtains his power levels and speed feats and etc. when he's absorbing chakra. Okay, or better yet, Samahara has absorbed so much chakra over in time and etc. to where the more time that goes, the more chakra he gets, the more powerful he gets. And not only that, he has a ridiculous level of chakra as well because of that. And the stronger his opponent, the more stronger he becomes. That's what makes Kisame so fucking dangerous. It's not because, like, he immediately starts at, like, 100 times speed. Like, nah, he could have only 2 times. He could only have like 20% speed, while another character has 80%. But his reaction speed will allow him to use his hacks abilities, and then his hacks abilities will give him the speed or strength or power to be able to contend with that opponent. And now he has like 130%, if that makes any sense. Kisame don't just have this insane out of nowhere fucking speed of the Raikage or KCM1 Naruto or fucking... That is blatantly not fucking true. At all. You want to know, and none of that, if you guys really think I'm capping on that, and you think, you know what I mean, this idiot is saying the truth, KCM1 Naruto, when he first unlocks it, speed blitzes Kisame. He couldn't do anything and immediately gets speed blitzed. Okay, so no. Killer Bee is fast, and yes, he can keep up with the Raikage, but he is not the same speed as the Raikage when he's especially in Lightning Armor 2. Excuse me, which gives him the same teleportation speed as the Yellow Flash. Okay, Killer Bee doesn't have the speed of the Yellow Flash or the Raikage. He can keep up to a certain degree if they're allowing him or they're using teamwork or whatever. There's even statements of the Raikage saying that he's slowing himself down to make them compatible and to make it work, okay? Killer Bee does not have the same speed as the Raikage in KCM1 Naruto. That is blatantly not fucking true. Can he keep up at a certain extent? Whatever, yes. His reaction is pretty good, yes. But he does not have teleportation speed. If he did, he could be doing the same shit Naruto is doing or Minato and etc. So, that's bullshit. With Kisame having the level, bullshit. Because what he's trying to do is be like, oh, therefore, since Kisame is that fast, he can immediately speed blitz Jiraiya. That is not fucking true. That speed is never indicated whatsoever. Okay? So, I'm just putting that out there. We all should technically already know this, but you'd be very surprised. And with this guy, like I said, he likes to really, just say some wild shit and reflect on things, and it's like he just either doesn't memorize things correctly or the whys and just assumes why it's happening or immediately makes it up and it's like, oh, therefore that is what happened. And what's the fucking word? He's very good at deceiving people. Very, very good at deceiving. That is the biggest thing Noodles does. So, not fucking true. There's so much evidence that says otherwise. If that is really his argument where he's going towards to say why he would get blitzed by Kisame, get the fuck out of here. You know,
Back the Tin Tails BG bombs and stuff like that. He's just fast, okay? That Killer Bee is slower than Kisame. Not version 2. Version 2 is faster than him. I'll give him that, because version 2 just outright lariated him, which he did regen from it, but either way, version 2... faster. Version 1, though, slower than Kisame 100%, and base B at that point would also be slower, meaning that Kisame is as fast or faster than KCM Naruto.
That's not true, bro. I literally just debunked that. I fucking knew he was gonna go that route. That is not fucking true. Kisame is not KCM1 Naruto level of speed. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you on right now? Deadass, I could literally pull up that fight right now. And I'm telling you right now, guys, that is not the case. And I literally just explained it. All because you can react and counter precisely enough to be able to overpower your opponent. Think of it like this, guys. This is the best way to make this explained. If you guys are aware of the martial art Judo, if you guys don't know, Judo is a martial art that literally utilizes a person's body weight and takes that and exploits that as an advantage and allows you to be able to take them down effortlessly. Okay, it's with throws, you know what I mean, grappling techniques and stuff like that. Even if the person's bigger than you or whatever the case may be, you're utilizing certain techniques and counters that gives you the advantage, especially if the other person is either a better fighter or a boxer or bigger, whatever, okay? Same thing with jiu-jitsu. It's literally a very similar concept with Kisame. Killer Bee goes in version 1, very powerful now, really fast, whatever, immediately charges, and all Kisame does, he's able to react and utilizes his sword and counters in a way to where it just basically slaps him across and makes him go over, and he gets all his chakra. That's all that happens, okay? So, no. Fucking stupid.
Think about that for a second, and then compare that to Jiraiya, who has no war arc scaling, and is actually lower than a bunch of pain arc characters. It would not make sense at all for this Kisame to be losing to Jiraiya. He would actually just directly speed blitz him and absorb all of his chakra in one go. There would be absolutely zero things he can do about this.
Jiraiya smacks him up, like probably very easily. But if you think
What? What are we doing?
Well,
he
I think
fights
you're-
Killer Bee. Oh.
I think he's just like saying like if you take this statement at face value and say that he's correct, then yeah, Jiraiya does kind of smack up Kisame. But
No,
if you
I don't
think
take it at face value.
that Kisame said that the Sannin makes 7 Ninja Swordsmen look bad, and he was making this assumption based off of how strong Orochimaru was when he was in the Akatsuki, then Jiraiya smacks him up, like probably very easily. But if you think that maybe he was just making an assumption about their titles based on how hard like Hanzo is like wanking them to the world to make them popular, then it's a bigger debate.
I don't even agree with this, okay? Like, even if we take this statement at face value, like the statement Seth's talking about, this is like Kisame from 3 years ago. This is part 1 Kisame. There's a 3-year gap where he could have did a ton of training and fighting, which we know he fought people, and we know that people get stronger after they fight people from the statement from B. So this just makes
Not
sense
necessarily.
that Kisame would probably be a lot stronger 3 years later. I mean, look at the gap in strength between tons of people from part 1. Kakashi got way stronger, right? Naruto got way stronger. Three years can mean a lot. So even if we take this statement at face value, you're only referring to part 1 Kisame. You're not even referring to part 2 Kisame.
Strong Orochimaru was when he was in
by
the
the way,
Akatsuki,
Noodles.
then Jiraiya smacks him up, like probably
Noodles.
very easily.
What?
Nate said he sent you a scan.
Oh, okay. Let me look.
Your skin.
Alright, so I'm going to give my take for the beginning, and then I'll continue my either refutations or my debunks or whatever if Noodles wants to be an idiot. So, for Jiraiya and Kisame, so this is basically where it gets at, okay? If we're talking about part 1, okay, like if we just go part 1, okay, I'm going to more than likely give it to Jiraiya because I'm going to be real with you guys. Jiraiya does his first technique in like the toad summoning thing, and they're in the belly of a toad and shit's kind of hitting the fan, and Jiraiya's like, no one has ever escaped his jutsu, blah, blah, whatever. And Kisame is actually shitting his pants. Like, this motherfucker is like, fuck. Like, what do we do, Itachi, blah, blah. And Itachi's like, follow me, whatever. They start running away, and then Itachi gets him out. Kisame would have been fucked. He would not have been able to absorb anything, whatever, and he would have gotten eaten by a goddamn frog jutsu. So, and that's his part 1. Okay, and then it would be really dumb, because I will give this to Noodles. Yes, as over time, generally characters do get stronger. It's kind of really fucking stupid to be like, oh no, that they're still the same or whatever. Like, the only character you can kind of apply that towards, in my opinion, is Obito, and the only reason why is because you can't really quantify the guy, and he generally stays the exact same, and he's very lazy. And for all you know, he's just kind of around the same ballpark no matter what. You know what I mean? Whether if it's yellow mask or orange mask. Like, and I'm talking about the Obito with the chains and then orange mask. You know? In my opinion, you don't really see a big power amp or boost until you see, like, War Arc Obito with the Rinnegan and shit. And you know what I mean? That's a whole other fucking ballpark. So, if we're talking about, like, Jiraiya versus Kisame, it'd be really dumb and kind of unfair to do, like, part 1 Jiraiya because it's kind of hard. Like, obviously, if I were to look back and do my homework and everything, you might be able to quantify or scale Jiraiya a certain way, part 1. But regardless, not even thinking of that, like, I'm not going to do part 1 Jiraiya versus Shippuden Kisame. I think that's really stupid. It's going to be the Jiraiya that we saw in the Pain arc, the last time we get to see him, versus Kisame at that point. And I'm going to be real with you guys. This fight can go many ways. So if Jiraiya starts immediately doing his hacks abilities and shit, Kisame, he's getting fucked. Okay? The only way Kisame can remotely stand any remote chance, okay, at all, alright, is if, what's it called, is if he was to immediately go into his tailless beast form, okay, and immediately get that power amp, which he literally calls it, like, the tailless tail beast form, and, you know, and then does, like, whatever, and that shit can be pretty problematic, okay, but, you know, and that's where Jiraiya could have problems, because Jiraiya is still going to be in base while he just did a transformation and is, like, powered up, you know, and so then Jiraiya is either going to have to do like some type of hacks abilities to either teleport himself into another dimension or whatever, or use a summoning to like keep distance or whatnot. He's going to have to do shit to give himself time so he can get into Sage mode, and then now that it's kind of even, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But overall, like, that's really the only realistic way I see Kisame kind of like having any chance whatsoever. And if we're being real, if we're talking about like in character, like generally Jiraiya, when he fights in character, he normally always immediately starts utilizing hacks abilities. He doesn't just immediately go straight to ninjutsu attacks. It's mainly just hacks based shit. And what the fuck does Kisame do against the Dark Swamp that just immediately catches you off guard and catches you? What does he do against being summoned in the belly of a fucking toad, you know, or put in a dimension and shit like that, you know, like, come on now, you know what I mean? Like, it's really fucking weird. And anytime we ever see fucking Kisame fighting, okay, and mind you, this is before he absorbs chakra or anything like that, he basically is, you know, just before he performs good, but he's not performing like some insane level of speed or power or just insane shit that's really noteworthy of. You know what I mean? Like, he just basically could keep up with the majority of people he fights, and then once he starts absorbing ninjutsu attacks, then he becomes more of a fucking problem. You know what I mean? So, if it's just base to base, should put in Kisame, should put in Jiraiya. If Jiraiya is able to hit one of his hacks moves on him, he's fucked, basically. If Jiraiya starts spamming like more of ninjutsu-based attacks instead of the hacks ones, like his fire style or mud or whatever shit like that and whatnot, and Kisame starts immediately absorbing that, that's when things can start getting problematic and Jiraiya's going to have a run for his money. But it's not going to be a scenario where one or the other is getting fucking speed blitzed. Okay, it's not really realistic to me. You know what I mean? You know, like I said, if they're immediately both bloodlusted, Jiraiya is most definitely going to be doing summoning, hacks-based techniques, and you name it. And if it gets Kisame, he's fucked, okay? If Kisame is able to do his transformation before he gets hit by a hacks ability, okay, and he's immediately doing either that water fucking bubble thing that's ridiculously OP, or better yet, just in his final form, you know, and whatnot, even though I would have to look back at the fight with Killer Bee, okay? You know, I still don't think it would be a speed blitz. I do think Jiraiya would still be able to at least react. Would Kisame be faster at that point? Most definitely. You could definitely imply and argue that. But I do feel Jiraiya would be able to react and either be able to move or at least react in some way to defend himself, if that makes any sense. Like, come on. It's just, it's never really displayed to show that Kisame is built like that. You know what I mean? He's more of a brawler, more of a powerhouse, and more known for his hacks abilities. Okay, and his water style and his sword Samahara that does the majority of the work. Okay, so overall, if you know, even if Kisame goes that route, you know what I mean, Jiraiya could just do what he needs to do, go into Sage mode, and I'm telling you right now, guys, like, this is how I see it. Jiraiya goes into Sage mode, Kisame's in his shit, right? And you know they're going whatever. If Jiraiya is not gonna fucking, like, he's not an idiot. He's dumb, but he's not dumb. You know what I mean? And he, just from, you know, kind of exchanging and going blow for blow, whatever, he's not going to be spamming Sage Art fucking ninjutsu at Kisame that can literally absorb ninjutsu with his ninjutsu attacks or his sword. That's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? You know, so, or better yet, technically an argument you could technically say that if Kisame absorbs too much nature energy, that could either turn him into a frog, which we have seen, or better yet, it could even negatively impact Samahara. We don't know for 100% sure if it would negatively impact Samahara, but we do know that if Kisame absorbs it into him, which he has done, that could actually fuck him. So technically, if Jiraiya wanted to pull like a 200 IQ mode and be like, all right, you want to absorb my shit? Bet. Absorb my fucking Sage Art ninjutsu attacks then. That could fuck Kisame. That could. And that could be a win con. Or, if Jiraiya just wants to stay on the safe side, Genjutsu or Taijutsu is a win con. What the fuck does Kisame do against fucking Sage Art, Taijutsu, and Genjutsu? He's fucked. He's done. Now, if Jiraiya is caught in like that water bubble thing and he's not able to utilize his hack, Like, for some reason, his hacks techniques can't get him out of that, then he's fucked. Jiraiya can only breathe for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. So, and the whole point of like that water bubble, if I remember correctly, it moves basically wherever Kisame goes. It like stays. So even if you're swimming away or whatever, like it just moves with you. You know what I mean? Like you can't really get out of it unless you have like teleportation, space-time ninjutsu, summoning, something that is out of the extraordinary to get you out of that, if that makes any sense. So overall, that's kind of my take on it. It can go either way. It can. That's fine. That's not the end of the world. But I do feel like Jiraiya would more than likely take the W in that fight. Like, if I had to choose someone to argue for, it's perfectly fine to argue either or. It's definitely not a one-sided fight like Noodles is making it seem to be. But it can go either way. And if I had to choose, I would argue for Jiraiya. That's just me, though.
All right, let's look at these panels, bro. Here's version 1 Killer Bee just running at Kisame. Kisame clearly sees it and just whacks the shit out of him, bro. Like, he just, like, bullies Killer Bee. Just slaps him immediately.
Also, look at the tops. The top one.
Yeah,
like,
this is when, after the Kakazu fight, Zetsu comes and talks to Pain. Uzumaki is Naruto is no longer just some troublesome brat. He's acquired some formidable jutsu and surrounded himself with many powerful allies. He even destroyed 2 of Kakazu's hearts with a single blow. Capturing him will not be easy. This is the Zetsu that's watched Pain fight, by the way, and he thinks that Pain would struggle with Kakazu. Ha! Wonder where I get this Kakazu scaling, by the way, even though the scan directly implies it. Spare us of your...
The fuck? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? This has nothing to do with Pain. All he's saying is that, hey, Naruto is no longer troublesome. He's pretty fucking strong. Keep an ear out for him. He's not really, the typical easy whatever, yada yada. He killed Kakazu with just one blow. Be cautious about him or whatever. And guess what? That's just Zetsu giving him advice and whatnot and just kind of looking out for the guy. And then when we see Pain come up and show, he destroys Sage Mode Naruto. Bodies him. And normal. You're talking about a stronger fucking Naruto. Like, with intel, prep time, you fucking name it. So, for one, this is stupid to even pull up to wank Kakazu or scale Kakazu. And 2, this has nothing to do with Pain being afraid of Kakazu. What the fuck are you on, bro? Like, deadass, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Noodles is by far, like, I kid you not, if you don't fall for his stupid ass rabbit holes or just talking about dumb, irrelevant shit or whatever and entertaining that bullshit, he is by far probably the easiest person, I kid you not, the easiest person to debate in Naruto. If you have a good memory of Naruto and you actually go through the manga or the anime or whatever, there is so much you can just, bam, proof. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Or no, this means this. You're stupid. Like, he's such a fucking idiot. God. Like, I don't know, bro.
Warning. Warning and fear. They're wasted on us. Pain has never yet lost a battle. And this is just Conan just, like, fucking sucking off Pain. She doesn't actually even know anything about Pain's, like, Kakazu's combat
I like
ability.
how she says, like, your warning, like, she calls those, like spare us your warnings of fear. So, like, Zetsu is, like, fearing for Pain's secure...
Yeah,
like,
he thinks, like, Naruto is, like, a legitimate threat to Pain just based on him beating Kakazu. Like, 2 of Kakazu's hearts. That should show you how much of a threat Kakazu is, by the way, to Pain. People really be downplaying Kakazu, man. But anyway.
Yeah.
Kakazu's trash!
For the dude that was saying, I think his name was Angry Daniel,
Like, Zetsu does that shit all the fucking time. He's constantly giving intel, constantly giving warnings. He's a humble guy, similar to Kisame. He gets props when it's given. Like, I'm not, like, mind you, Kakazu's not a weakling. Nobody's saying that, but in comparison with other characters, Yeah, I'm sorry. Kaksu can't fuck with them. It's just that fucking simple. Narratively, feats, you name it. Like, it's so fucking dumb. It's literally a troll fucking meme. This whole Kakazu shit is literally a troll meme. It's so stupid. It's old. It's dying. It's not entertaining anymore. Nobody fucking takes it seriously. And for any of the people that do, they're either trolling and doing it for attention, or two, they are actually so dumb and ignorant that they actually believe in it. And unfortunately, all you can do is just make them look like an idiot and show it to the Naruto community, and there you go. That's the best way to deal with that. If you deal with stupidity, prove that they're stupid, move on with your life. The best way to deal with it. You know what I mean? So, and remind you, I love how he'll be talking about this and try to wank Kakazu and all that, yet you know how many statements Zetsu has for Pain? Being invincible, a god, never losing, thinking it's inconceivable for Pain to ever lose a fight, all this fucking shit. And you're talking about a guy that has thousands of years of knowledge and experience. Like, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking stupid.
That Pain wasn't tripping, or that...
And of course, Kishimoto has some narrative implication of, like, who the fuck cares? We got, like, it's Pain, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we be alright. What she just said was the fucking truth. Like, spare your dumbass words of warning and fear. They're wasted on us. Pain is just built different. And guess what? What do we see? Exactly what she said. We saw the fucking proof. Kakazu lost against, like, what? 10% of Konoha's military strength? While Pain strolled up and bodied 80% of it? You know what I mean? Like 80 fucking percent of it. The only people that weren't there was, like, Yamato and two other people, Sai and Guy's team. But he bodied everything else. That's insane. Kakazu could never replicate a feat like that. Ever. So, shut up.
Zetsu wasn't tripping about the Ross and Shuriken. Here's the direct statement of it. And then here's Killer B just nay-naying.
Where does it say that Zetsu worries for his life? He's literally telling him, like, dude, like, be careful, bro. Like, Naruto's not just some brat.
Yeah, capturing him will not be easy. And then, like, Conan's like, oh, don't worry, Pain's never lost a battle. Like, implying that Zetsu's words imply that he would lose the battle.
Use your words of warning and fear?
And that's not what you said earlier. You weren't arguing that it was Zetsu worrying about his life. We were talking about whether or not Zetsu was worried about the Rasen Shuriken, and he directly references it here. So don't change your goalpost now.
Yeah. So yeah, not only are you wrong that Zetsu is actually worried about Pain and whether or not he'd be able to deal with this new jutsu that Naruto has, but also Conan literally states that these words of Zetsu are words of warning and fear. Like,
yeah, it is. It literally is. And not only that, if, you know, Zetsu knows what Pain is capable of, and X, Y, and Z, and also the Rinnegan and whatnot, it is of warning and fear, and it's just basically cautious advice. That's all it is. Because you also got to remember, Zetsu should also be aware that the Rinnegan ability can just hacks out anything Naruto throws at him. Anything. We saw what happened to the Sage Art Rising Shuriken. It poofed by Shinra Tensei. So who the fuck cares? like, why is this even relevant, bro?
Like, Zetsu being like, man, you better watch out for that Naruto kid, bro. He like, one tap two of Kakasu's hearts. He's scary. Like, that's basically what the scan says. But anyway.
No, it doesn't. You're stupid.
Them popular, then it's
while I have the 100 viewers, join the Discord in the description if you want to talk to me about any of these topics. We have plenty of cool casual conversation in there, as well as debates. So if you want to either talk to me or even debate me, whichever you prefer, don't care, or just interact with the community, feel free to join. The link will be in the description.
Hell no. I'm good.
I also think that you can totally discount
like,
that state.
You know, you could do it for the fun and for entertainment or for, like, content creation. You know, fuck it, why not, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not worth it. You're literally, if you were to join a community like that, you're talking to a bunch of trolls and ratty debaters that will literally look for anything to say why this is this, even though it's just dumbass, ratty, stupid shit. Or better yet, shit that has so much evidence that contradicts that, or so much narrative and blah blah, you name it, to where it doesn't even fucking matter because it's either a hyperbole, over exaggerated, or not backed up, or has no consistency in X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just that fucking simple. Like, if I really wanted to, and I wanted just to give myself a free W, fuck it, yeah, go in there, debate with someone, whatever, and have some fun with it. But to take it seriously, hell no. You would want to pull your fucking hair out. It's not worth it. You're literally talking to Tweedledee and Tweedledums in there.
From Kisame, because even Kishimoto has said before that Kisame kind of exists in Itachi's shadow. Itachi was the first one to say they should run, and Itachi also did use a model
Oh, it's not Zetsu, it's Obito. Either way.
Rasu to get out of the frog belly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Obito was the one
Kisame
warning them.
sees Itachi like busting his ass, and is probably just like, oh
Obito?
shit.
Wait,
He had to use the
apparently it was
Mangekyo
Obito.
Sharingan. Like, wow.
Whatever, though.
Yeah, like he has no reason to believe that Itachi is
And
like,
say, point proven. Like I said, I would have to go back to that scan and really look at it and everything. I just was just taking their word for a change. But that's what happens when you take a ramen pack's word or noodles. Point proven. It's not even fucking Zetsu, it's Obito. That's even worse.
Mega Mind, like 4D chess lying to him, and like an undercover like Onbu agent or
I
like
forgot
whatever.
which game it was. It's been a while, but there was some game cutscenes that were actually
Hold on.
to use the Mangekyo Sharingan. Like, yeah.
Like Kisame sees Itachi like busting his ass, and is probably just like, oh shit.
Take your career.
So many ads.
He had to use the Mangekyo Sharingan. Like, wow.
Yeah, like he has no reason to believe that Itachi is like Mega Mind, like 4D chess lying to him, and like an undercover like Onbu agent or
I
like
forgot
whatever.
which game it was. It's been a while, but there was some game cutscenes that were actually canon, like confirmed to be TV anime
Oh yeah,
canon.
it's I think
Yeah.
it's Generations, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since I brought this one up, so yeah, Generation, something like that. One of them was canon, but
Yeah.
it shows
Storm
Itachi
Generations
versus
3, I think.
Kisame fighting, and the second Kisame forces Itachi to whip out the MS, Kisame's like, oh wow, that's good enough for me just to see you whip out that eye, like wowie, you know.
Yeah.
So for him to see Jiraiya whip out that eye, he's like, wow, that guy must be stronger than me. But you know, something.
Yeah, that's also just a non-canon video game.
It's not
only
non-canon. No, it's not. There is so much evidence of why it is. And Kishimoto supervised it. He was there. He gave the thumbs up. He even worked with it and everything. Shut your lying dumbass up. God, I hate that shit, bro. Oh, man. Like, you can't just deny something because you don't agree with it or it makes you look dumb. All because Kishimoto is spelling it out for you does not mean it's not true. Okay? Your word is not greater than Kishimoto. Okay? Like, boo-hoo, go climb me river. Okay? Like, nobody fucking cares. Alright? At least, definitely anyone that is not a ramen pack. Okay? Like, it's so stupid. Like, Seth and Swag wouldn't say something is canon for no reason. Okay? And not only that, I've had many explanations. Eventually, I might even make a whole video on it because I'm so sick and tired of people pulling the, oh, this is not canon when it comes to Naruto or yada yada X, Y, and Z. Because it's so fucking stupid when there's so much evidence that there is. And for God's sake, it's fucking Kishimoto, bro. Like, it's a whole other thing if it's something that makes no fucking sense to what we're seeing, that is inconsistent or doesn't make sense, especially to what we have seen or whatever, you know what I mean, yada yada, or an indifference between the manga and the anime or whatever the case. Like, it's a whole other thing if it's actually way off or something out of this fucking world. But that's not the case when it comes to the games or when it comes to fucking even the anime and whatnot and even the movies. Like, it's always consistent. It's always sticking to the main aspects of the story and making sure it makes sense, it's connected. And at the end of the day, Kishimoto has to approve it. He has to supervise it, give the thumbs up, maybe even does his own adjustments or whatever. And then once it's good, and that's it. Because if you don't, guess what? You have copyright. Okay? So overall, whether if you the whole canon, this and that, whatever, if Kishimoto is involved in the production and making of it and the approval and etc., and there is literally evidence for it, you can't argue against that. It's not fucking canon. It's so stupid. Like, it's so fucking dumb. And even if for some reason there was a movie or whatever, something that did not have anything what Kishimoto mentioned, okay, at the end of the day, they still need the approval and the supervision from Kishimoto. They can't just do anything with Naruto because they feel like, okay? It doesn't work like that. So dumb.
To the anime Storm Generation 3, and I don't even think that in particular was canon to the anime because it's not even shown in the anime. They show some of the cutscenes from the games in the actual anime filler, and they state that that's part of the anime, but I don't even think that cutscene was shown in the anime. It might have been. If it was, then you could consider it canon to the anime, but I only do manga. But if you're doing anime, that's fine. That just shows that Itachi's Genjutsu and I would probably one-tap Kisame, which I don't think many people would disagree with anyway. But yeah, Itachi totally could be lying here because he is an undercover operative of the Leaf Village, and it wouldn't make sense for him to just body Jiraiya, who's also an operative of the Leaf Village. Like, that seems super counterintuitive. He could totally just pretend that, like, hey man, this dude's strong, we should get out of here, and make Kisame believe it, because Kisame already has respect for...
Okay, so Noodles is correct and he's incorrect. What I mean by that is, with what Swag and Seth are saying, they're absolutely right. The fact that Itachi had to utilize his MS to be able to escape out of that jutsu, okay, is impressive in its own right, and clearly went to show to Kisame of how much of a threat Jiraiya is. Okay, if Itachi was to fight Jiraiya, could he be able to beat him without using the MS? Absolutely. But he didn't because, like Noodles was saying, he's a spy, blah, blah, this and that. He's not trying to have a throwdown with one of the legendary Sanings. That is a crucial military strength ninja that the village needs. So yes, he wanted to run away. And unfortunately, there's no attacks that he had that were strong enough to penetrate that jutsu, which the whole point of that is to make sure you can escape and you get eaten in a frog belly. So the fact that Itachi, which reminds you, is extremely intelligent and states himself that every jutsu has a weakness and has a contingency for a contingency, okay, thought the only way to get out was his Amaterasu, that is impressive in its own right. At least the defensive capacity, or the attack potency it would take to get through that. That clearly Kisame didn't have anything to do that. Like, if he could, he would have just done his transformation, got out. He didn't do that. Or if his sword was strong enough, or a water style, he would have done that too. He didn't know what to fucking do. He was relying on Itachi, and that's it. So Seth and Swag have a valid argument. And Noodles, the only thing that he is correct on was yes, that the only thing where it gets a little bit contentious or whatever is you can't really try to upscale Jiraiya too much or whatever and yada yada, because at the end of the day, you can't really quantify that fight because Itachi was a spy and not trying to fight, you name it, X, Y, and Z, and he wanted no smoke with anybody because he's not there to harm the village. He's there to make sure Sasuke is okay and to make sure the village is okay. So he's not going to do that. You know what I mean? So yes, it would be very ignorant or stupid for someone to argue in favor for those scenes or statements and to be like, oh yeah, meaning that's why Jiraiya would smack Itachi or Kisame or whatever. Like, that is, you know what I mean? So that he is also right as well. But then Noodles, because he's fucking Noodles and he's an idiot, wants to take it out of proportion and make it a whole other thing and then make every single thing that happened like either irrelevant or no way to even scale Jiraiya pretty impressively, or at least in comparison with Kisame. So they're both right, but Noodles is wrong in the whole other fucking layer of it, if that makes any sense. What?
I was gonna lay him down. I wanted to let you give him a kiss before I put him back to sleep.
Okay. Hey, Baba. Hey. I love you. Hey. You smiling? Yeah, you smiling.
Say good night.
I'll see you soon.
Say good night. Damn.
Okay. Nice.
You feel better?
Terry, stop it. All right, let's continue, though.
For his reputation anyway, like, yeah, it makes sense.
Someone said, I hope that you think that Itachi is above Kisame.
Yeah, I would hope so. Like, that'd be preferable. Like, it'd be weird if you didn't say Itachi was above Kisame.
Something I just thought of right now is the fact he made Itachi whip out the MS.
Yeah.
When, you know, Orochimaru got pointed at, like he didn't.
Yeah.
And Jiraiya is Orochimaru's equal.
Sounds like
Not equal.
yeah. It sounds like to me that Jiraiya. Hold on.
Noodles got mad at that.
Jiraiya is Orochimaru's equal.
So Jiraiya and Itachi are. Jiraiya and Orochimaru are equals, and Itachi could just like casually genjutsu Orochimaru. What does that tell me? That you know what that tells me, Surfbone?
What does that tell you?
If Itachi could casually genjutsu Orochimaru, who's equal to Jiraiya, kind of makes
Sounds like Jiraiya's gonna get one tap.
sounds like Jiraiya also gets one tapped. To be honest, that didn't really help their.
And yes, that is correct. So it's the same thing would have basically happened with Jiraiya as well. He get genjutsu and he's dead, and that's it. Which I already said before as well, that if Itachi actually was there to fight, he wouldn't actually need to whip out his MS. He could just do a genjutsu or whatever, or just fight along with Kisame, and Jiraiya would have got smoked, okay? So, and that's just that. But, because, you know, the whole background info and everything you name, he didn't, and he needed to use the MS because anything else that he had in his utility or whatever wouldn't be able to penetrate those walls. He truly believed none of his ninjutsu, element attacks, or anything could be able to do anything. Okay, instead, he would have to either genjutsu Jiraiya, you know what I mean? And then just, you know, and then he can get out that way. But the reason why he wouldn't want to do that either is because if he just genjutsu Jiraiya and then they just run away, not only is that going to be very suspicious to Kisame and to Jiraiya and Naruto and all that, it would just blow his cover as a spy. And because, come on, think about that. Like, if you put someone in genjutsu and you're way more powerful, which is clearly shown in Naruto, and then Itachi's like, all right, let's just leave. We don't need to kill him. Don't you think that's a little weird? You know what I mean? Like, Kisame would be like, whoa, like, why not kill him? Kill him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's stupid. So, yes, they are right about that. And I can see why they're trying to utilize that to kind of make that whole argument like kind of dumb or irrelevant and blah, blah, and out the window. But like I said, which I was even explaining this before, which for some reason Noodles cannot comprehend, he only did that because that was the best way to like conserve his, you know what I mean, his whole thing as being a spy and all that, you name it. And that was the only way, okay? Whereas compared to if it was Orochimaru, fucking, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, Itachi wouldn't, like, even if Itachi didn't want to fight Orochimaru, or let's say, like, the same exact thing, and he wanted just to kind of, like, not really do anything, Orochimaru doesn't have anything or an ability that would actually force Itachi to use his MS. He doesn't have anything like that. If Orochimaru went into, like, his final form or whatever, you know what I mean? And before he got genjutsu'd, and let's say for some reason genjutsu doesn't even work on that, then yeah, you could argue that Itachi would need his, you know, his MS and either use a Mataratsu or his Totsuka Blade and the same shit, you know what I mean? Whatever, GG. But what Swag and Seth are trying to say is since he had to run away for many reasons, okay, which required him to use the MS, that does make Jiraiya look better than Orochimaru. And better yet, it does establish the whole concept of them being equal and how Jiraiya can technically scale over Orochimaru at certain points. Or, you know, overall as a concept. Okay? So, come on now. You know what I mean? But Noodles just cannot understand that.
Point at all.
Also,
in fact, that kind
also,
of shows like there's actual some proof that Itachi was just bullshitting with the Mangekyo stuff earlier when he was fighting Jiraiya in part 1. Also, that's like part 1 Itachi. again. But anyway.
And, like, Itachi is not trying to kill Jiraiya either. Like, if he wanted to kill Jiraiya, he would have just killed him there. Like, he wouldn't have tried to, like, escape and use the Amaterasu to, like, get out of, like, the frog belly and shit. Like,
Six said on his
like,
stream,
if he wanted to kill him, he would have just done it there.
Bro,
like,
apparently Six put Kakuzu above Pain on his tier list or something like that on his stream just now.
I feel like that's trolling. I feel like he's trolling.
Are y'all lying? Multiple people said it. Did Six say Kakuzu beats Pain? Because I'll be hyped. So that's one down. Seth said it on Twitter and deleted it. But we're going to convince these boys. We're going to pull them over to the dark side. The Kakuzu side.
Noodles, you would never get any. You like, bro. The day you actually get Swag or Six or Seth to actually be dead ass serious to scale Kakuzu over Pain will be the day. Why I officially retire and talk about Naruto. Don't quote me on that, everybody, but dead ass. Like, that would never happen in your fucking life. Because I know you would get a boner from it, your weird ass troll Naruto boner. But I'm going to tell you right now, bro, nobody would ever do that for you. The people that actually have brain cells, no.
That's one thing about Kisame.
That's what they were saying. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Jiraiya getting one tap by Kurenai Genjutsu, 100%.
Hard to scale, and I had a problem with this in my Akatsuki ranking video. It was that, you know, the thing about Kisame is that while his base stats are actually not the most crazy, the stronger his opponent is, the stronger he becomes. So it really depends on, you know...
Thank you. And the other guy with brain cells says that, what I already said.
How long you think he could fight and how, you know, long Jiraiya would toy with him. You know, if Jiraiya's like instant frog song or maybe...
Which he never does.
Instant massive Rasengan to him, maybe it would like heavily damage him. You know,
why would the massive Rasengan do anything, like, be able to beat him if like, version 2B's, like, Lariat couldn't?
Now, a Sage Art massive Rasengan, in my opinion, would actually beat Killer Bee's Lariat. I do believe that. It's a massive-ass Rasengan with Sage power. But what I disagree with Seth is the sword would just absorb that shit. That's what it's literally for. It would literally absorb it. Could it be able to absorb all of it? I don't know. Because Sage Jutsu is very fucking powerful and he's doing a lot of fucking chakra. And whenever he was absorbing Killer Bee's chakra, it's not like he absorbed all of it. He only absorbed a certain amount of chakra. Okay? And not only that, Kisame even said, like, wow, the fact that you're still in this or whatever and we absorbed that much, like, impressive. So, just putting that out there. They're kind of both being stupid. But I get what Seth is saying. Could the Sage Art Massive Rasengan maybe even beat the sword? Potentially, yeah. It's a very powerful fucking jutsu. You know? So, between Killer Bee's Chakra Cloak Lariat, which is like a taijutsu chakra move, compared to a Sage Art ninjutsu move, come on now. You know what I mean? Come on, you know? So, yeah, no. Noodles being stupid, and to be fair, at least for both, Samahata would more than likely absorb all of it, or would absorb like maybe half of it and then take some minor damage or whatever. That's all I would say. Or no damage. I mean, at the end of the day, Samahata is a hacks-based weapon. And we've never really seen any evidence to indicate that it can get hurt or fucked up. Especially when it comes to chakra or ninjutsu. That's literally what it's there for, to counter that shit. So, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kisame, this is not even a conversation. Kisame literally murdered Blitz's Jiraiya before he even, like, a neuron fires
Hell
off.
fucking no. That does not happen. You wish. You wish. Like, you know what's funny with Noodles, too? His arguments, like, 9 times out of 10, his main win-con arguments is always, like, speed for some reason. It's always speed, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, that character's just outspeed, whatever, blah, blah, and blitzed and dead. Which, you want to know the craziest thing? The craziest? If you actually analyze Naruto and even see fights between characters that are clearly scaling out over other ones, it's never actually shown of a character just straight up speed blitzing a character in Naruto. Like, there's probably some instances where it's happened, but like, for the majority, and at least characters that are within the same ballpark or tiers or in scaling and whatnot, it's just never shown. It's never ever shown to that degree. The only time that's ever shown is when it was like Minato or the Raikage, you know what I mean? Or Tobirama in the War Arc, you know? Or KCM Naruto and shit like that. That's the only fucking time. Even when we see Madara, he's not even just, like, he's not speed blitzing people, like, you know what I mean, where they can't even fucking do anything. Nah, he's literally having to dodge, counter, react, use Susanoo, you name it, whatever, in X, Y, and Z. He's not just, like, so fucking fast so people can't even see him or react or anything, and that's it, they're dead. Like, that's not even really a thing in Naruto. And I don't understand why, and this is actually a lot of people, it's not just Noodles, but there's a lot of people just, their arguments always can immediately just go straight forward to like, oh, the speed blitz dead, right? And it's like, unless you're like talking about like fucking kids soccer versus, you know, EMS Sasuke, then obviously fucking speed blitz and dead, you know what I mean? But if there's not a huge gap like that, it ain't fucking happening. It's very like improbable. It's out of character in Kishimoto writing. It's really not realistic at all. Like, could the character be faster and they're only able to like react, you know, or whatever the case may be? Sure, but not to the point where they're speed blitz and they can't do nothing. Like, that's just stupid, you know. Like, so speed blitzing arguments are very fucking weak in my opinion, unless it actually makes sense or it's a huge gap in scaling. You know what I mean? But overall, like, the people that normally always try to use those type of arguments, it's so fucking dumb and it's so stupid. And 9 times out of 10, when they do use those arguments, both characters either have the same level of reaction speed or movement speed, you know, or a relative or whatever, or better yet, it's vice versa and the other way around. It's so fucking dumb, you know. So overall, if Jiraiya especially goes into Sage mode, you know what I mean, and he's using his Taijutsu attacks or Genjutsu, Kisame can't do shit. Guy was a perfect fucking example. Kisame is getting fucked, okay? And Genjutsu, fucked. Same shit, okay? I already explained basically how it would go. It could go either way, but 9 out of 10 is going in favor for Jiraiya with mid difficulty. I don't even think it would be high. Definitely not high. It's just that simple. It's very simple. What's it called? So, stop. Go. My damn cat is so damn needy. And that's basically that. So we'll continue and let's move on.
And he just steals all of his chakra with Samehara immediately. There's no other question in the conversation. That's just what happens. He's so significantly faster than him that he can be faster than like characters like KCM, Naruto, and shit.
That's not true.
It's unreal. Like
you can live in your fantasy world, but that's not fucking true,
literally
bro.
on par with B, bro.
Yeah, by absorbing his chakra and getting stronger. Idiot. Shut the fuck up.
When, you know, the same B that could, like, murder Blitz, like, MS Sasuke. The same B that could keep up with...
Okay, that's not true either. Killer B never just straight up murdered Blitz Sasuke. If you actually analyze that fight, yes, Killer B was outperforming Sasuke in beating him, but it wasn't, like straight up to the point where, like, Sasuke couldn't do anything. Nah, Sasuke was giving him a run for his money. They were going back and forth, whatever. Even though B was superior and in control the entire time, he was clearly the better ninja, okay? But until B did certain moves, then Sasuke got fucked. Because it was either something unpredictable or something he just didn't expect or didn't have really a counter for. Or better yet, just caught him off guard and shit like that. There was never a moment where Sasuke immediately got speed blitz. As a matter of fact, when B went into V1, he immediately goes at full speed, and Sasuke is able to dodge with his shotting gun. And even Killer B says, like, wow, he's the first one to actually dodge or whatever, yada yada. And then, you know, the other people that don't have a shotting gun jump and dodge his fucking crazy ass speed with V1 Lariat, okay? And it causes a crazy huge explosion. And then he charges at Sasuke again. Sasuke puts him in Genjutsu. And while he thinks he won the fight with Genjutsu, okay, Killer B snaps out of it because of his Shinjuiki, and catching Sasuke off guard then causes massive damage to where he wasn't able to react in time. So no, he never just murdered Blitz's MS Sasuke. Shut the fuck up.
You know, KCM Naruto, like, this is ridiculous.
Like, stop lying, stop making up shit, and for once, if you're gonna say something, because it's either your memory is fucking horrendous and you're gonna have Alzheimer's, or you're just a rat and you lie and you deceive, and that's all you do. Fucking show it. Instead of just saying stupid shit, show it. Because you're dumb. Holy fuck.
What are we talking about?
You know, how much chakra can Samehada just absorb?
Massive Rasengan would give Kisame more energy? Facts, bro. What the...
he would just cut he would just, like, Samehada would just cut the Rasengan in half and then absorb it.
Yeah, you just steal all of the chakra.
Once again, that can fuck Kisame over, and especially Samehada, because if they absorb nature energy, that could be a W effortlessly. I'm just putting that out there. So, just saying, don't just think, oh yeah, he just gets stronger, whatever. It's, you know, that actually could be a bad thing, a really bad thing. And like I said, you can argue all kinds of things. Either he absorbs half of it, and, you know, and then just moves whatever, or he absorbs the whole fucking thing, or better yet, it just bodies Samehada somehow. You know, each scenario is definitely possible. If I had to pick one with the one that seems more probable or realistic, I would say he would more than likely absorb half of it. Probably. I don't think full, but at least half.
B2B did damage him. He got his chest ripped open. I didn't say it didn't damage him. He regen, though. He completely regen from it. Why wouldn't he be able to regen from the Master Rasengan? And why would it even damage him? Like, it's mountain level. Like, are we going to say that the Beast version 2 Lariat is mountain level? Come on now.
And is Kisame fast enough to react to Sage Jiraiya? Like, do you think Sage Jiraiya is, say, as fast as Base Killer B or something like that? Because, you know, Kisame could react to Base Killer B, so, you know, you have to think about things like that.
That doesn't look like Base Killer B to me. that definitely does.
Okay, so if you actually go to the whole fight, there is points where Killer B is in base and Kisame is reacting. Deadass. And then Killer B goes into V1 and Kisame is still reacting. And then V2, then he finally gets, like, fucked. But it heals and absorbs that chakra as well. And he gets more powerful, and that's it. So, Kisame does react. When Seth said that, unfortunately, they're being idiots and showing him in fucking V1. But we'll move on and pass that. So they're going to laugh, make fun of it, whatever. Like I said, what you guys got to understand, their whole mission right now is to try to debunk, refute, and make Swag and Seth look dumb. That's their whole mission, okay? And that's all they're doing right now. But if you actually watch the anime and the manga, there is points where they're both fighting in base to base and Killer B's reacting.
Does not look like Base Killer B. That looks like version 1 Killer B.
Look, that either may be, like, who knows? Maybe that's the editor's fault for not actually listening to what Seth was saying and putting version 1B on the screen. Like,
yeah,
that may have just been the editor's fault. Like,
mount level is not stated to be the limit. I'm not saying that's the limit of the Rasengan or of the Odama Rasengan, but that's the best scaling for it. There's no other scaling for it. Like, the only other thing that you can use for a Rasengan is, like, Minato's Rasengan could one-tap, like, 14-year-old Obito. At that time, Naruto, who had surpassed Jiraiya, could, like, one-tap some Pains. Konohamaru one-tapped a Pain, but they don't even have good durability. Not the only one that has a good durability feat is when all of the other 5 paths are down, which means the last path had the most chakra, and it was Tendo. So, like, against Naruto, who had a stronger Rasengan than Jiraiya. So yeah, I don't understand how you're even going to be able to say that Jiraiya has any better scaling than mountain level with those Rasengan, and why that would even affect Kisame at all. This dude fights Biju, bro. Biju.
Yeah, and you have Kisame, who's known as the zero-tailed Biju.
Yeah.
I'm glad they finally mentioned that. I don't think Seth and Swag ever mentioned that.
Like Tail Beast. And he, like, literally 30%, like, a clone that has 30% of his chakra was able to take on Team Guy.
What happens when he just summons the giant waterfall jutsu and just, like, consumes the forest? Like, he'll just consume the forest in a giant water bubble, fuse with Samehada, and just murder Blitz Jiraiya even worse than before. And, like, oh, he could go into the Toad Belly. And then what? He has to come out. What does he do when he comes out? He just dies. He has no way of stopping. He has no way of stopping Kisame from just murdering.
Noodles is just brain dead, bro. I feel bad for the fucking guy. The fact that he actually thinks this is a one-sided battle and really thinks Kisame just straight up stomps, it's really fucking sad. And I'm gonna tell you, for anyone out there on Discord or anyone that debates this shit or whatever, this is an easy W for you, bro. Like, just give this guy an L, man. Do it either on your Discord server. Don't even go to his server. Do it on your own. Invite the fucking dumbass. Debate him. And just embarrass him. That's the best medicine you can give, dude. Just show the guy that he's an idiot. Because he is just fucking... I don't even know, bro.
Yeah, it's unfair. It's a horrible matchup.
It's not a horrible matchup. It's actually a cool matchup. I actually enjoyed it a lot. It's a really good one.
You know, you have to think about things like that when you're thinking of the battle. And
so this is a hard 50-50 for both of them. So
who else are we missing?
And that's fair. That is fair. A 50-50 is fine. I do feel like it still favors Jiraiya more, but it can go either way. That is fair.
Hard 50-50.
That's no difficult. We don't need to talk about that.
We can talk.
Hold
What are
on.
we missing? Obito. That's
Did they say it was
things like that
50-50?
when you're thinking of the battle.
Yes, they did, motherfucker.
What does Jiraiya have on B's level in speed? What? Tell me anything.
What does Kisame have on B's level? He only reacts. He can't move that fast. He only reacts. That's like saying fucking Killer B has Minato's speed or the Raikage's speed. Killer B was able to react to the Raikage and Minato, but he couldn't perform the same speed feats of teleportation. Does he not? Can he not distinguish the difference between the two? All because you can react to someone doesn't mean you're as fast as them. Like, I don't understand that shit. They both have they would both, in my opinion, have similar combat speed and whatnot, and you name it, okay? And they both can be able to react to each other. It's that fucking simple. It's not rocket science. There's so much narrative and actual feats out there to like, support that. Like, I don't understand what's so, like, crazy about that. Like, this guy forgets that Jiraiya was fighting against Pain. Pain is way more powerful than Kisame. You know, like...
B is so fast, bro.
So this is a hard 50-50 for
No.
both of them. So
Yes, it is.
Kisame-
No, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're fucking stupid.
With murder blitz, water.
No. You know what? You know you want to? I'm gonna do the fucking Noodles game. No, Jiraiya would blitz Kisame. Fucking blitz him. Speed blitz him. He shoves his fucking frog nuts in his goddamn throat. Okay? Look a dick.
Her bubble absorb all of his chakra. There's
We don't
nothing
need to
you
talk
can do.
about that.
we can talk about
It also says when he fuses with Samehara as well that he gains the power of a Jinchuriki, which I mean goes with the whole like tail is Biju or whatever thing. So
Once again, due to all the chakra and shit, but I already stated that.
yeah, he's got better speed than Jiraiya. He's got more chakra than Jiraiya. He's got jutsus that can one-shot Jiraiya. He's stronger than Jiraiya. Like he's literally a Jinchuriki level in power. What does Jiraiya do against someone like that, bro? It's like fighting Kakuzu on crack.
We can talk
Okay.
about Itachi. So
Sure.
a lot of people are gonna be like, but Itachi.
Oh my
Frog,
Lord.
you know what, another thing I'm interested in? Like, people, like, Frog Song's pretty good, right? Like, even though he would get blitzed before any of the Toads ever came out. Let's just say he was already casting Frog Song. If Kisame just casts Water Bubble, sound doesn't even move through water the same way. So the sound waves probably wouldn't even work through the Water Bubble.
I disagree because it's Sage Art Genjutsu, so it probably has enough AP to be able to penetrate. I don't see why not. That's really stupid. That's a dumb argument. That's really dumb. It would be able to still penetrate, or better yet, fucking I could Google, but I'm pretty sure sound can still go through water. You know, like, and at the end of the day, it's not some normal Genjutsu. It's Sage Art Genjutsu. So that's really dumb to argue. If you're gonna try to pull in science, try to make it a little bit more better than that.
Especially over that distance. Like, it wouldn't even make a difference.
Well, I was just gonna say, in character, Jiraiya would have to like be convincing the Toads as it was happening to get them to do Frog Song, because they had to, like, both times when they fought like Pain, and then when they went up against Pain the second time, they had this whole argument on whether or not they should use frog song.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's not something that is completely due.
What, are they gonna just argue while they're in the water bubble about whether or not they should use frog
They
song?
just have
Do they have
Kisame
telepathy?
shark.
Well, the reason why they can argue and do that shit is because, once again, Sage Mode Jiraiya is no fucking joke. They can literally argue and whatever, and now really thinking about it and reflecting, I believe one of the pains actually went to push Jiraiya while they were kind of talking or kind of fucking around, whatever, and Jiraiya was effortlessly able to react and deal with it. He's in Sage Mode. So yeah, they have the luxury of doing that. He fought against Pain, who is stronger than Kisame. A more dangerous and more powerful threat. So yeah, he'd be just fine. Because once again, it would not be a speed blitz.
Like,
Yeah, Kisame just comes up and bites Jiraiya's head off, like, while they're doing that.
yeah. And the only reason Kisame didn't just immediately, like, one-shot B and take all of his chakra is because B just had an enormous amount of chakra. And Kisame said that he has so much chakra that if he absorbed it all at once, he would go insane.
Yeah.
So he would just literally one-shot Jiraiya, absorb all of his chakra, and then he would die.
Yeah.
Like,
From
Yeah.
base Jiraiya,
Kasame is
by the
crap.
way.
Talked about this in
Sounds
my
good, bro.
Itachi video. You know, every Itachi collab in existence that has remotely mentioned Jiraiya.
Yeah.
It's just his character, you know, not wanting to go all out and kill Jiraiya, who's taking care of Naruto and all of them. He doesn't actually want to get Naruto as much.
You know why they all say that? Because it's a very valid, like, argument.
They're acting.
Yeah.
It's clearly just, you know, a ploy. We know that for sure. He didn't even go all out against Sasuke. You know, like, Obito had to break the ice. Like, did you know Itachi could have killed you at any moment? Like, he wanted? So if Itachi can do all that...
And Itachi was, like, near death as well.
Jiraiya
So.
is smarter than he thinks, too.
He's also, like, way smarter than Jiraiya. Like, he could have just made any plan he wanted to come back and murder him, but he didn't. Like, it wasn't about killing Jiraiya. He obviously didn't want to kill Jiraiya.
This is the main argument. This is how it goes.
I agree with them here.
Okay. Itachi points at Orochimaru.
Doesn't even point, bro.
Points at him.
He
Puts
just
him
looks
into a
at him.
genjutsu so crazy as a 14-year-old that Orochimaru, years later, when he's strong enough to fight the strongest Kage with Edo Tensei summonings, doesn't want to scrap with Itachi remotely until he gets his own Sharingan from his stolen brother's body, and is just so devastated by getting pointed at with one finger, says, I can never beat Itachi.
So, to correct Seth, he didn't do a finger. The genjutsu that Itachi did, what's it called, was like it was just basically the Tomo Sharingan genjutsu. And he wasn't looking at Orochimaru. That was the crazy thing. He wasn't even looking at him. He was facing the opposite direction, and Orochimaru wraps him in a snake, and he's like about to kill him and talking his shit, and he's immediately placed in genjutsu without even looking at his eyes, and then he immediately counters Orochimaru and cuts his arm off and basically tells him you're fucking trash in comparison to me. So he didn't finger Genjutsu. He could do that too in the same result, but he just used his Sharingan just in case. You know, that's one thing about Itachi. He doesn't underestimate people, you know, and that's all he needed to clap him. So he never fingered him. I don't know what he's talking about with that, but
he's too strong. Like, and Sasuke himself is like, yeah, me and Orochimaru might need to fuse our bodies to be able to take him. Like, it's clearly demonstrated that Itachi is above the Sannin in terms of power. Like, that's the whole point. Like, Pain and Itachi are the above Sannin level endgame pre-war bosses for Naruto and Sasuke. Like, that is the whole point. Like just being straight up honest. It's just so clear to me.
Kung Fu.
It's very funny that Itachi goes to the Leaf Village, but he specifically waits until Naruto and Jiraiya are supposed to be, like, together.
I think it's also something you need to think about from Itachi's perspective is how is he...
The only thing I disagreed with, I should have paused it when it happened. Seth said something along the lines of, Orochimaru could scrap with the strongest like Kage. Hiruzen at that point was not the strongest Kage. I know there's that statement that Hiruzen possessed superlative strength to all of the other Kage. Or the other statement where it said that Hiruzen was currently the... It didn't say currently, it just said Hiruzen was the strongest of the five great... It was the strongest leader of the five great nations or whatever. That's great and all, but the last time they saw Hiruzen fight was during the Nine Tails invasion, which was like 14 years before. And Hiruzen specifically said, had he been 10 years younger against Orochimaru, he would have obliterated him. Okay? So this is more than 10 years ago, so he was way stronger back then. So that statement is being based off a much stronger Hiruzen. Current old man Hiruzen is not confirmed to be stronger than the Raikage or the other four Kage for that matter. So that's the only little stipulation I disagree.
So when it comes to the other Kage, that's a whole other can of worms. I'm not going to get into that. But when it comes to the Raikage, I will give that to Noodles as well. I could be wrong in this, but from what I remember and know so far, obviously, if I want to do like a video or do more homework or whatever, then I can have an actual concrete answer for this. But yeah, I remotely don't see any way Hiruzen being able to deal with the Raikage. Talking about a guy that has the speed of Minato. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, so I'll give that to Noodles.
Agree with.
Also, I think it's funny that because this reminds me, like, during the during the Hiruzen versus Orochimaru fight, even the Anbu Black Ops that regularly work for the village and with the Hokage, then realize as he's fighting, he's like, damn, old man, that's like the old age has really caught up to Hiruzen. He's not doing as well.
Yeah.
As he would usually.
And then when Hiruzen...
Yeah, he's performing pretty bad. He also has a mental nerf, so that's kind of fucking him in the ass. And then until he gets that Will of Fire mental amp, then he's like kind of like back to his glory days or his power levels that he had maybe back then or whatever. Maybe it wasn't the exact, but it was getting up there, you know? So...
Summoned shadow clones, he was like, only 3? This is pitiful. Like, he was like sad that he could only summon like...
Well, not only that, Tobirama could only do what? 1 or 2? So your point? Like
3 shadow clones.
The fuck does shadow clones have to do with this, bro? Tobirama can only do 1 or 2. Who the fuck cares?
This is like a decrepit old, like, near death Hiruzen. Like, this Hiruzen's not even close to peak. So, yeah.
Going to convince Obito he was genuinely struggling, because Black Zetsu and Obito are probably not going to be convinced that someone like Kakashi, who seems to be weaker than Orochimaru, who he pointed away, scared him away from the village. It just doesn't seem likely. So someone like Jiraiya seems more likely for what it's worth, at least to him. But yeah, it's just the whole thing is weird because everything Itachi does is an act. Even when he's messing up Kakashi's like, why didn't he just kill me already? Like, what? Yeah. What? Like, so yeah, even since the very beginning, he just messes around. So it just doesn't mean
absolutely true.
Yeah, I want to know comments. What do you think Jiraiya can do to bust through the Yata mirror? Give me a...
Literally nothing.
And like, how is he like resisting the Totsuka blade?
The only thing that Jiraiya could do to Itachi is like frog song him, but I mean, like, if you were to be like in a genuine matchup, Itachi has...
Yeah, frog song's OP. Frog song's just real OP. Like, it's his best ability, like 100%, but it's still not gonna really do much.
Like 99% more win cons than Jiraiya does, and like just more than likely just wins.
And not only that, it would just never get to that point. It would never get to it. And even if it did, let's say for some reason it did, right? The Yatamir, in my opinion, would still be able to deal with that. It literally can deal with anything. Anything. So it doesn't matter.
Not to say Jiraiya just can't possibly win. Apparently he could possibly beat Pain if everything went perfectly, so sure, he could probably beat...
I mean, it didn't have to even be perfect. Like, it literally could have just been like, oh, there's 6 of them, let's lure them into all 6 of them into one area, and then frog song them. Like, that probably would have been the strat Jiraiya used, because that would have just worked. Like, Pain would have had no answer to that. So, that...
You know what's funny is, like, they're going down these rabbit holes of, like, because they don't want to make Pain look weak, So they're just trying to like find a ways. It's like, oh, if you really want to use that one statement that if Jiraiya with prep.
Bro, shut the fuck up. I haven't debated you yet, and I swear to God, I'll body your bitch ass. Like, you're Noodles 2.0, but like the dumber version. You know what I mean? Like, at least he can rap more better, but this guy, he's a dingling. I don't even know what he's talking about. We don't need to hear what you have to say. Hurry up.
Could beat Pain, then I guess you would also beat Itachi as well. And it's like, no. Maybe it's possible that Pain is just not as strong as you guys think he is. Like, he's not stronger than Itachi. He's not stronger than Kisame. He's not stronger than Kakuzu.
Yeah.
Like,
Jiraiya stats wise is not good. Okay, he doesn't have much speed scaling. He doesn't have much attack potency scaling. His best stuff is like mountain level, unironically. There was that statement that he had like superlative power to the 5 nations or whatever.
Be right back.
But that's just
I hope you guys enjoy what they're saying.
I'm not gonna just accept that. It's probably in reference to the Frog song, which would make sense. But even then, like, if he's supposed to have the greatest power of the 5 nations, does that mean he's just gonna be like beating Inoki? Like, he could handle like Inoki just vaporizing like 30 Madara Susanoo clones on his face? Like, he could just deal with that? Like, what? All right, let's just think about this. What would Jiraiya do when Madara summoned those 2 meteors down on the Shinobi Alliance? I'm really curious of like how Jiraiya would have handled that situation, because if it wasn't for Inoki headbutting him, like, those meteors killing everyone right there. That's the end of the Shinobi Alliance. They just all die. So yeah, I definitely think that that statement's not good, and every other like feat for him is like beating up a Path of Pain, which doesn't have good durability, and this mountain level state.
So, by the way, a quick FYI for you guys, the Paths of Pains have incredible durability. If you actually analyze all the pains, they have really, really good fucking crazy durability. Their whole thing is always trying to shit on Pain or find anything to argue or blah, blah, yada, yada. Like, it's the same exact thing that people do on Minato. Like, there's some people that try to downplay. Like, you have the trolls in the Naruto community, and then you have just really ignorant people, and you have people that try to downplay and hit on Minato or Pain. It's always those two characters for some reason, even though there's plenty of narrative, plenty of feats, and Kishimoto clearly makes it obvious and emphasizes on how powerful they are, okay? But you have idiots like this that try to always downplay and hate and just, you know, just to troll or because they're truly ignorant or whatever, and they just want to say stupid shit, where someone can pull up the, oh, well, Minato alive, you know, a splinter flew and it pierced his leg. His durability's trash. Yet, as an Edo, which nerfs you, right? Fucking, he's able to tank a fucking Amaterasu Ryzen Shuriken from a KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto. Infused with Sasuke's chakra with EMS with Amaterasu, which fire enhances wind, and it's a Ryzen Shuriken. And he just takes it like a fucking champ. It doesn't cut through him. Takes it. Tanks a Ryzen Shuriken with Amaterasu. In Edo. In base. No KCM, no Sage Mode. It's shit like that they do. And it's the same concept with fucking Pain. He has plenty of fucking amazing durability feats. And the more chakra you input for the person, everything can increase. Your taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, durability, you name it. It's shown many, many fucking times. It's fucking dumb. Stupid. They're an idiot.
Man. And then speed feats wise, maybe relative to Pain. So maybe like relative to base Naruto, who can react to Pain. Kakashi level, maybe. You could probably get him around there, like Pain Art Kakashi level. So maybe he's, yeah, literally in that range. So he doesn't have good speed. He doesn't have good power. His best thing is hacks. So if you can speed blitz him, you can probably kill him. And most of the Akatsuki can just outright speed blitz him, like Deidara, like Koksu probably.
That's not true at all. I don't know what the fuck this guy's on about, but now apparently everybody can speed blitz Pain. So I don't know if this idiot forgets shit, but, you know, the Rinnegan linked vision counters that. I don't know if he forgot, you know, and then, like I said, the more chakra Pain is inputting into the paths, the faster and stronger and everything increasing as a whole. So, that doesn't really work for you, buddy. And if you guys want an actual feat and proof for that, if you think I'm just saying shit like fucking Noodles, okay, when Jiraiya goes into Sage mode and the summoning, I think, no, it was the pain that can rip the soul out. That pain goes to charge at Jiraiya. Jiraiya immediately fucking reacts and like speed blitzes him in the fucking face and sends him flying. And that pain tanks a Sage mode Taijutsu attack, which is insane, okay? You know, and gets back up, and basically his eyes are damaged to where he can't see anymore, but the other pains can. And from there, he basically just increases their chakra levels to where that can't happen again, and utilizing the Rinnegan's Link Vision to be able to just dodge effortlessly and be able to be fine. Now, I could be memorizing that scene. I think it's either the pain charged at him and he just reacted and kicked him in the face, or what's it called? While the pain was running to him, he charged back and got him. I can't remember, but I believe it was just Jiraiya reacting. So overall, like, Pain actually never gets speed blitzed. I'd have to look over everything. I'm pretty 100% on that, because the whole reason why he never does, it's not really anything to indicate with his reaction speed or movement or whatever. It's mainly due to the fact of the Rinnegan, the linked vision, and that just allows him to dodge shit, and that's it. So speed is irrelevant. It's an irrelevant factor. It doesn't help anyone. It was clearly shown with Sage Mode Naruto. It was clearly shown with fucking, with Sage Mode Jiraiya and Sage Mode Naruto, my bad. It was shown with other fucking characters Pain has fought. Fucking Pain was fast enough to deal with Six Tails V2 Naruto. Like, all kinds of shit, bro. Like, it's just dumb. It's so dumb.
Like Kisame. Like, maybe Sasori as well. Sasori probably just speed blitz him, considering he can, like, kill amped, like, cloaked Naruto, and he also is, like, able to beat Deidara. So you could argue he's probably on that level. He's also able to, his puppets can fire jutsu that are at the speed of light. Like, the puppet that he made, that Konkoro uses, can fire, like, kunai out of it at the same speed as Gaara's sand and, what's that, Laser Circus, Laser Circus that Darui fires, which is just stated to be light beams. So Sasori is probably fast enough to do it. And all of those abilities are strong enough to damage him, because most of them have abilities that can damage Biju, which Jiraiya has no scaling to in durability. It's just, and also, like, it poisons you and paralyzes you, and then Deidara's bombs that destroy you on a cellular level, like the Rasen Shuriken. Kakuzu just is a man and just would probably crush his face. It's just like, in Kisame just dirties him in so many different ways. Like, that's just unfair. It's just hard for Jiraiya to really get around this stuff, man.
Itachi if everything went perfectly, but more than likely.
It's not. Kishimoto makes it very clear what Jiraiya could be able to do. It's not rocket science. You're just an idiot and you live in your own world. Apparently, you're Kishimoto in another fucking universe. You know how the whole theory for the multiverse, guys? I promise you, this motherfucker came from another universe where he was Kishimoto or something, I don't know, and believes it and knows everything to Naruto.
Itachi just stomps him out, so.
Yeah, and so then there's
Cody.
Obito, which, like,
Yeah.
Seth mentioned, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Do you actually, like, come on, bro.
We don't need to go over that. It's just Minato thinks that
I was about to say,
is just more intimidating than Pain. Who,
Yeah.
I guess being a Sanin means nothing. You're right.
Yeah.
Minato thinks that
Insert
14
His titles don't mean anything.
yellow
Being a
mask
Kage means
Obito
nothing. It just
is
means you're the
strong.
strongest of your
Acquire
village.
Nine-Tails Jinchuriki
Questionably.
mode, by the way. Dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't think Sage Naruto could do it. It would take
Yeah, he thinks that Sage mode isn't, like, enough. He's like, no, you need to master the Nine Tails. So.
Yeah. He's seen him fight Kakuzu, he's seen him fight Pain, he's seen all of he's like, nope, you need Nine Tails mode, buddy. Not happening. So that's just as clear as it gets. Like, so.
So, okay, Jiraiya has about, like, a, 6...
Jiraiya beats Hidan?
Okay, so one thing I will say before things move on, I have to hear more stupidity from Noodles. This is my little, like, contention that I have with that scan. I don't really like that scan. A lot of people always try to show that scan for, for arguments for X, Y, and Z or whatever it is. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like that's more of a downplaying statement, or more of an ignorant statement from Minato. Now, don't get me wrong. Minato's a very intelligent ninja, you know what I mean, and whatnot. But I'm gonna be real with you. To fight against Obito, you don't need the power of the Nine Tails in order to damage him or kill him or beat him. It's been clearly shown many fucking times from many characters to be able to deal with Obito. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need KCM1 or further to fucking beat him. You don't need that. Naruto could be able to beat Obito with Sage Mode if the conditions are right. I'm not saying that's what would happen. Obito would more than likely beat Sage Mode Naruto. But if Naruto is able to use his brain for once, he might be able to pull it off. If Naruto fucking summons like thousands of shadow clones, you know what I mean, and Sage Art and all that, and is over here just going at Obito. Obito can only combo for 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be real with you. Naruto has crazy fucking chakra and stamina. Can most definitely be able to outlast Obito's combo. So Obito would either just have to retreat and run away, or fucking, you know, yeah, that's it basically, or just he gets fucked. Okay, like fucking at the end of the day, like if Naruto times his attacks and all that, he can be able to do some damage to Obito. That's all it really boils down when it comes to Kamui. If you're able to time your attacks and be fast enough while he's materializing or trying to attack you, you can damage him or beat him or severely injure him. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's other ways to go about it, but that's a whole other fucking thing. And that's just that. But overall, like, you don't need the power of the Nine Tails in order to beat Obito. I think that's very fucking stupid. And I don't like how people try to utilize that as a scan in order to be like, oh, this is why Obito is over pain, or this and that, or X, Y, and Z. Because if you actually really analyze Obito, there's plenty of anti-feats and plenty of things to show that you don't need the power of the Nine Tails to be able to contend with a person like him or his caliber. It's just, there's evidence for it. So that I would, you know, be highly against. And if you guys are like, like, what the fuck am I talking about, or what am I on, whatever, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't bullshit for no reason. I literally have the scans, and there's plenty of evidence for it. So, and that's going to be in a whole separate video I'll eventually do. It was going to be a video called Obito is Overrated, but I feel like that's too disrespectful to the character. So I'm still in the works of thinking of what video title I want to do, but it's basically going to be me discussing Obito, of how powerful he is, and then kind of like where he kind of, you know, scales to, and where he kind of caps at, and who he could beat and who he can't, you know, stuff like that. And then to really go over like Kamui's weaknesses, and to kind of really hit the ballpoint of people either overhyping him or overwanking him, or just being crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he's a powerful character, and he is definitely in the top scaling on par with Itachi and Pain, but like, he's not as how Swag and Seth make it out to be. They fucking ride. I'm gonna be real with you, they're Obito tards, okay? Because for some videos that I've seen and whatnot and heard, they wank the shit out of fucking Obito. The same shit that Noodles does for Kakatsu, they do the same shit with Obito. And me, I'm a realist, guys. I'm very straight to the point. I keep it a buck. I don't bullshit. You know what I mean? If credit is due, I'll give it. If it's not, and it's, you know, there's equity or whatever, X, Y, and Z, I'll be the first one to admit that no, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Especially when there's actual evidence for it too. So I'm not going to get into all that, but let's see where this goes into. If it's just bullshit, we'll end it here. If it's something important or reasonable, then we'll continue reacting.
Jiraiya beats Conan. Jiraiya beats White Zetsu. And that's about it.
Yeah. He does not go through that much to the Akatsuki, unfortunately.
No.
Like,
being a
like, you're all saying that we're downplaying Jiraiya. It's just like, y'all be downplaying the rest of the Akatsuki, bro. If you think that's
what speed? Someone give me a good speed feat for Jiraiya in chat right now. Anybody. Give me a speed feat that puts him at like gives him light speed scaling or something. Because tons of the Akatsuki have that.
Base Jiraiya reacting and moving to Pain's attacks, fighting against Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, the one that's basically goated and spoken about from Zetsu out of all people to be invincible, undefeated, and yada yada, and the most powerful X, Y, and Z. Like, then fighting against, then you have Sage Mode Jiraiya, who's fighting against more passive. Like, I don't know what more needs to be said when it comes to speed. While Kakasu can't even handle a tired, fatigued Naruto with no Sage Mode and no KCM nothing, and uses fucking 2 Shadow Clones and gets hit by Rising Shuriken and defeated. Can someone give me a speed feat for Kakasu? You know, like, because that's pretty fucking garbage for Kakasu not even being able to react to that Naruto. And he's using Shadow Clones as a diversion. You know what I mean? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I just don't know what we're on here about, bro. Like, Jiraiya has plenty of narrative and speed feats. It's all there at Pain. Okay? Against Orochimaru. Okay? Like, you fucking name it. Like, the guy is a fucking beast. He's a beast. Like, I don't, like, the amount of downplay and disrespect that they're doing to Jiraiya is ridiculous. Like, you can't gas up other characters that are losing to certain characters or whatever the case may be, or performing worse than Jiraiya. It's just stupid, you know? So, overall, it's just dumb. It's so dumb. Like, he's over here asking for it, and there's plenty. You know? It's so dumb.
Sand's light speed. Sasori's puppets are light speed. Deidara can dodge Gara Sand. Kakazu can react to Yugito, can fight KCM Naruto. Blitzen's human path, who scales nowhere. Great. And also the Paths of Pain can react to him. We just see that happen. So it's probably just a more their relative type thing. I don't see him beating Hedon. Bro, he would just frog song Hedon. Like, that's not... Like, Hedon, like, isn't gonna do shit.
Well, he might also just, like... Because...
He could probably just beat up Hedon, bro. Like,
I was gonna say, yeah, he would just beat up Hedon and probably, like Odama Rasengan him into the ground and he dies. Like,
he just would, like, just keep Odama Rasenganing him over and over.
Jiraiya's sandal feet?
Fights Pain, stated to be on par with Orochimaru in part 1, which scales nowhere. So, great one. Jiraiya's sandal feet? I don't know about the sandal feet. People keep telling me about the sandal feet. I don't even know what it is.
It's when he literally takes his shit off and fucking moves super fucking fast and then does the fucking massive Rasengan. It's a speed feat, but what do we know?
What diff do you think Jiraiya beats Konan? No diff. He literally no diffed her. Like, we saw it on screen.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
They reacted to Senbon Needle, stated to be his fastest jutsu. Nice. He was able to react to Pain, who was scaling to 6 tails. No. Pain with one body up was scaling to 6 tails. And not well. He was getting beaten by him and getting tagged up a lot. And I don't even think he hit 6 tails once. So maybe in movement speed he's keeping up with him. And that's with all 5 Pains down. If you aren't aware of this, when the Pains have less, or when Nagato has less Pains up, he can focus more of his chakra into them. This is stated in the Shinra Tensei data book.
And not only that, which is another thing he's forgetting, but once again, it's always the downplays or the ignorance, especially with the character of Pain. Pain also has a ridiculous amount of fucking chakra, and the more chakra you embed into your paths, the more stronger they are, faster, you name it. And what he always forgets to mention and tries to quantify Pain after all the feats and all the chakra and stamina that he is utilizing, okay, you're talking about a Pain that literally pulls up, bodies everyone in the village, does an almighty Shinra Tensei, okay, blows up the whole village, then has enough chakra and stamina to fight against Sage Naruto with all his prep, intel, you name it, okay. The passive Pains go down due to conditions and variables. That's the only reason. If he had his Tendo powers, they all would have got fucking smacked and none of them would have ever died, okay, or got taken down. By himself, deals with everyone at ease, bodies everything, you name it, like, and then is going toe-to-toe with the fucking Six Tails, fucking, you know what I mean, Six Tails Naruto, which is insane. It was an insane fucking fight. Absolutely insane. Okay, and it is very impressive because Jiraiya was able to fight all 6 and react and move around and you name it. He wasn't immediately just getting speed blitzed. He was able to react, he was able to dodge, and then eventually there were certain points where it just got too much overbearing for him and he was too pressured, and then he starts getting tagged. So overall, like, those are valid feats and valid mentions. He just doesn't care, and he finds any excuse in any way to be like, oh, doesn't matter. Or like, you could see how angry he gets and how annoyed. Like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, you got people in his own stream telling him like, this and this and this and this, and he's over here just like, no, like, no. It's always excuses. If it's not in Noodles' brain that this is okay, even if we're talking about like an ant versus a human, which you all know that if a human steps on an ant, it's dead. It's all something we know, right? If Noodles is like, nah, fuck that, he will find any way to argue against it or say it's ridiculous and blah, 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 you name it. Because at the end of the day, he is prideful. He's egotistic. He has a very big ego and thinks he just knows everything about Naruto. And most importantly, he's deceiving. He's ignorant. He's very dishonest. He's a ratty Naruto content creator. That's just what he is. It's what he fucking does. So overall, it doesn't matter. It's not even nothing serious. Until he says something that actually needs to be elaborated on, or actually for me to take seriously, I'll respond. But for now, let's just listen it out.
On the third data book. So yeah, if you don't know that, six pains up, really weak. 1 pain up, really fast and strong. That's why he's able to tank harder shots and move faster later, because Nagato's focusing more chakra into him. Makes sense. So yeah, no, not relative to that. Jiraiya beats Deidara because most of his higher tier bombs probably don't matter because he can reverse summon. I mean, if you literally want to be the dude that just sits there and be like, yeah, he'll just reverse summon every single time, like Deidara could, like, even though he never does that in character, which then I will apply a similar argument, Deidara would just stop throwing bombs until he gets out of it. Like, how would he stop? And also, like, what does he even do? Like, what does Jiraiya do to Deidara? He doesn't have any long range jutsu that can tag him. Okay, and Deidara's faster than him by a lot. Coxie is strong. Yes, he is. Four tails tag Jiraiya. Facts. Go ahead.
Also, it's like for a reverse summoning, you need someone else to be able to reverse summon you back if you're trying to return to the battlefield, right?
Yeah, so you're going to say Jiraiya BFRs him?
And we're going to assume that Deidara is going to be nuking the entire battlefield as it's happening. Like, would he just not kill the frog so that, like, while he's nuking everything, and then Jiraiya has no way to return to the battlefield? Like,
Deidara is one of the weaker
You're basically just
members.
conceding that Jiraiya would have no, like, way to counter any Deidara's bombs.
Yeah,
and
he just
that's why
loses
you're
to Deidara's
resulting
bombs.
He just reverse summons out of there. It's like,
I'll debate anyone on Deidara versus Jiraiya. Like, it's not even really much of a fight. What does he do?
Yeah.
Fire style? Yeah, his fire style can just reach that high up in the air. He's flying, like, in the clouds, and he's just gonna fire style all the way up there? Yeah, right. Jiraiya's toad stomach has poison in Boruto? That's pretty cool. I don't think Jiraiya is weak. The Akatsuki is just nasty. They was packing up the majority of Shippuden. That's what I'm saying.
So if you guys need, I'll make sure to put the videos in the link in the description down below. But I have part 1 and part 2. I already discussed and talk about how Jiraiya could be able to deal with Deidara and yada yada, and how there's narrative scaling, the whole fucking 9 yards. There's so much out there to input that Jiraiya would be able to fight against Deidara and win. It's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and could Deidara pull a W? Yes. Okay, it is possible, especially if he does that Hacks explosion ability, which I think it's either the C4 or C3, I can't remember. But overall, it's where basically it's a bunch of like fucking molecular. I can't even say the word. It's like it's microscopic fucking explosives to where if you breathe it in or whatever, or if it goes around you, you're basically fucked in it, and it just blows you up from the inside and you get incinerated. You know what I mean? So if that gets on Jiraiya, yeah, he's fucked. So anything, it basically destroys anything it touches. You would have to be like Pain or some other fucking shinobi that has some crazy abilities to counter it or deal with it. But anyways, so overall, like, it's just that fucking simple. And then not only that, like, Jiraiya has, I don't know if you guys forget, but he always has like scrolls and shit and stuff like that. it's definitely not remotely impossible for him to be able to pull out something to where he can use a lightning style and basically be able to, deal with stuff and whatnot too. Like, there's just so many ways. Jiraiya has so many ways to deal with Deidara. It's not even funny. Like, it's so dumb to talk about.
Saying the Akatsuki are dirty, bro, and everyone just forgets that. Yes, the Sannin are cool, they have an awesome backstory, they're written very well, they're interesting characters. That doesn't make them strong, that does not mean they have good scaling, so just give them good scaling and then we'll talk about them beating the Akatsuki. Until then, they don't have anything.
They have plenty. Plenty.
I just can't figure out any, like, reason why Jiraiya would even, like, be able to stop Deidara from just bombing the battlefield, like, and killing him. Like, yeah, he'll just reverse summon. Cool.
Sasuke did it. Like, but Jiraiya can't. Yeah.
Deidara doesn't throw bombs after that. He'll just wait for him to stay out of the toad stomach. Like, and also, I don't even think he's fast enough to dodge the bombs. Why would he be?
Yeah.
What speed feat does he have to dodge the bomb?
Yeah. Even if you say that Sage Mode's allows him to be able to sense the micro bombs, he literally has no counter to them. He would just die, unfortunately. Yeah. Like, just get disintegrated.
What if he pulled a Sasuke and summoned Gamabunta and, like, protected himself and just killed Gamabunta?
Oh my god.
No, he'd
just be an asshole. Yeah.
Sorry, Gamabunta, you gotta go, buddy. You're getting monded now. He's about to bring up Pain's animal summons, but they're inconsistent in scaling. They don't really have any scaling. They're just things like that Pain summons.
They have scalings. They actually do have scaling. Once again, ignorant. I think the rest of this is just him ranting and saying stupid shit. And if you guys want me to listen to this next part, because basically all this is gonna be is like fucking 30-something minutes of him just talking about insane, stupid shit and to just talk crap about Jiraiya. So if you want me to watch the rest and debunk that and actually like react to it and give evidence and proof of what Jiraiya and yada, I can do that for you guys. We can just consider like a fucking DLC video or whatever, or the final part for this, Let me know if you guys want me to react to the final amount. Like, it's about 30-something more minutes long of him basically just shit talking Jiraiya and asking what he can do, whatever. If you want me to do that, let me know. I'm gonna listen about maybe 2 more minutes, and if it's still the same shit, we're just gonna end it there.
Once and doesn't really do anything with except like assault the village with and beat nobody important. When we're getting the War Arc Sakura versus Akatsuki video, never. If they kept Jiraiya alive in the war, he would have beaten most of them. Maybe. I don't know. That's just kind of assuming Kishimoto's intention. Jiraiya scales the Kashin Koji. Man, I don't know any Boruto scaling. I'm just going purely off of Naruto. Kakazu sucks. No, Kakazu's great. You just don't like him.
Also, Kakazu is K-A-K-U-Z-U, not K-A-K-A. It's not Kakazu. Like,
yeah.
I keep seeing people misspell his name.
Well, yeah, he's poop. He's Kakazu. That's why they're doing it. That's not because they're actually spelling it like that. They're saying he's shit.
It's Kakazu.
It's not Kakazu.
Or Kakazu.
Someone said, "Do you hate Minato?" Sounds like you do.
No, Minato's cool. He's got teleportation. That's pretty dope. He's got a Rasengan. He's got a cool cloak. He's fly.
Yeah. It just so happens that he's just not that good when you put him up against characters like Toby Rama. Just saying, bro.
Or Kakazu.
Or Kakazu, yeah. Which, by the way, Noodles released a video on Kakazu versus Minato. You should all go check that out after the stream.
Hell no, don't do it. I think I did a reaction video on that. I don't know if I did or not. I believe I did. But hell no, it's fucking horrendous. You will literally lose brain cells. Like, just one thing. This man was shit talking and saying how Kisame would speed blitz Jiraiya, blah blah this and that, yada yada, even though there's plenty of evidence to indicate that wouldn't happen. So it's okay for him to apply that mentality and logic for a character like Kisame, right? But then you have a character like Kakazu and then Minato, and out of nowhere now Kakazu has teleportation level of speed. So it's okay for Kakazu to have this level of speed and power against a character at this caliber, aka Minato. But if it's Jiraiya and Kisame, Jiraiya's trash, can't react, whatever, yada yada. and Kisame just speed blitz whatever, and yada yada and this and that. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like, they're just all over the place. Basically, what they like to do is they'll make exceptions for characters they really like, and then characters that they don't give a fuck about, or let's say it's a character that they like more. Inconceivable. No, there's no way. Bullshit. And they lose their mind and they get butthurt. Okay, so it's just hilarious how they can actually debate Kakuzu versus Minato. Just think about that. That just thinking about that is like, yeah, this guy's pretty fucking dumb. They'll actually talk about that, but then think it's out of this world for Jiraiya to have any remote chance against AKATSUKI members or to even win. It's like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet.
Let's finish this video off. We only got a minute left.
56%, maybe like 50-50. Definitely Auto loses to 3, might lose to 1, and beats the other 5.
Might lose to Kisame. That's just blasphemy, bro. Like, Kisame not only has the best speed feats of any Akatsuki members outside of, like...
Reaction is good, but not movement speed. Sorry.
Like, Edo, Itachi, and Obito. Like, he has literally the best speed feats of all of them. Way better than Jiraiya. Jiraiya has, like, below pain arc scaling. B has, like, war arc scaling to some of the fastest characters in the show. Okay? Kisame just murder blitzes. It's like a definite lose to him, and a definite lose. Like, unironically, Jiraiya's best matchup is probably like Kakuzu, because he's just like maybe not got the best movement speed, and he can maybe frog song him in time, and that's his only option. I don't even think he has good chances.
Okay, so now Kakuzu is the same speed level as Jiraiya, but he could beat Minato in speed. Are you fucking kidding me? What? Okay.
At that, I think Kakuzu would probably just punch him in the face and he'd die, to be honest. Like, I don't know what he would even do to stop him from doing that. Everyone else, he has no way of dealing with Deidara, no way of dealing with Itachi, no way of dealing with Kisame. Like, he literally only beats, like, Hidan and Conan, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. That's just how it is. Sup, Noodles? Finally got the stream live? Well, welcome, lucky neighbor.
I don't know why you won't finish the fucking video. Thank you.
Just like Orochimaru, he could join the Akatsuki.
The hearts don't have ears, so the hearts are free versus dry anyway. That's facts, bro.
That's true.
Oh my god, no, Frog Song don't work, boy. What Frog Song gonna do? All right,
and it's just like the statement that the hearts are autonomous from Kakuzu. So even if Kakuzu gets put under the Frog Song, the hearts would just
murder Jiraiya.
Would just murder Jiraiya.
Alright, so Frog Song basically is an auditory genjutsu, so you have to hear this Frog Song in order to get put under it. But the hearts don't have ears, so they just wouldn't be under the genjutsu, and they're completely autonomous of Kakuzu. So they would just like false darkness him, or like giant like jutsu him, and he would just die.
Man, that's hilarious thinking about that.
Damn it.
Okay, so my only thing to that is if Kakuzu gets hit by the genjutsu, he needs to be mentally awake in order to control and utilize them. Like, he controls them. So the only way you can meaning if he gets hit by the genjutsu, if they're in his body, he can't utilize them. That's it. Like, you can't argue against that. Like, there is nothing to show and prove that they have like their own mind of its own. It literally is always being shown that Kakuzu is controlling them and utilizing them. Okay? And even if they were out of Kakuzu already, which takes time, remind you, okay? What's it called? And he got hit by the Frog Song. What's it called? Like, basically, like, you guys got to remember, well, actually, no, they would be able to move, technically, because when Kakuzu was dead, some of them were moving towards his body, you know what I mean? And then they just went back in his body to bring him back or whatever. Like, they were still moving. So they can technically still move, but they don't have insane speed feats. They're pretty slow. Like, they're nothing really too crazy. And overall, like, that just makes it easier for Jiraiya to deal with. And he could just focus those hearts and deal with it. Like, if you guys actually reflect on the fight in with the Kakasu fight, like when Kakashi literally kills Kakasu, like with Raikiri, and then he dies from the blood from the hit-on moment, like Kakashi and Ino and Choji just fucking stare at them, kind of just wobbling and kind of running to the body. They don't even try to like stop it. They don't try to kill it. Nothing. Which Kakashi could have easily done that, but they just stand there and watch. And then it literally takes like a couple amount of seconds for it to get into his body, and then more seconds for him to get brought back. And they're just standing there watching that shit. So like, at the end of the day, like it's stupid. And in character, Jiraiya would not let that happen either. Like he would be able to take care of it, and overall it'd be if the frog song happens, Kakasu is fucked. There's no way he's getting out of that. But it wouldn't even get to that point. He wouldn't need to utilize frog song to beat Kakasu anyways. He has many win cons over Kakasu.
Oh, Jiraiya's down bad, bro.
Oh man. Or Kakasu's just cracked. Like,
yeah,
he is just cracked. Especially considering the heart.
Hypothetical Kakasu, yeah, for sure. Multi-continental, fucking Minato level speed, durability, can withstand anything. Yeah, sure. Hypothetical.
Bro, he's just got so many abilities.
Also, I don't know if that happens in the manga, but we do see the anime.
But if we go off Kakasu in the anime and the manga, he gets bodied by low-level characters. So, just saying.
Are capable of flying as well.
Yeah.
Like,
how fast is Jiraiya? He kind of reacts to some of the pads of pain, all 6 up, which is the same thing Kakashi did. Okay, and the pads are able to dodge him. Jiraiya.
Kakashi. No, yeah, Kakashi was getting bodied most of the time, technically, because Tendo had his powers and everything. Kakashi really couldn't do shit. Like, he had to come up with some, 200 IQ countermeasures in order to do it. I had to, really think based on that. Jiraiya, on the other hand, I don't know if he was still in Sage Mode or if he was in base. I actually think he was in base, which is still very impressive while in base. And he's over here dealing with all 6 of them coming at him and just blocking, moving, fighting with one arm, mind you, and with other massive injuries and fatigued and tired, and he's doing all that. He has pretty good speed. Come on.
And they're also able to dodge Kakashi. So he's probably relative to Kakashi. The same Kakashi that Kakazu murder blitzed, by the way. But he's relative to that Kakashi, I would say.
There is never a murder blitz with Kakashi either. What the fuck? There was a murder blitz when Kakashi used Raikiri. Just saying. You know what I mean? But not when yeah, that never happened. The only time Kakasu ever catches Kakashi off guard is while Kakashi was dealing with Kakasu, and then Kakasu sends one of his heart things or heart monsters, and it's behind him. Oh no, Kakashi was fighting the heart monsters, okay, and then Kakasu was on a tree waiting for him to get there, and then utilizes his tentacles to grab him from behind off guard, and then flips him over or whatever. It wasn't just a straight up speed blitz. You know what I mean? So he's an idiot.
That's about where Jiraiya is.
Kakashi did that to Kakazu as well. And Kakashi also, just using Taijutsu, killed Kakazu. Just saying.
Jiraiya specifically, not base Jiraiya. Base Jiraiya really doesn't have any speed scaling. So if we start Jiraiya out in base, it's bad news bears, bro.
It's not.
It's so bad.
He was able to contend with Pain, who is way more powerful and stronger than Kakazu.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be the strongest.
Yeah.
Wow. crazy how that added up.
It's perfect. He'd be right there, next to Kisame, where Orochimaru is. Everybody's Akatsuki list.
Yeah. Crazy
how that.
He might do well against Sasori as well. Sasori might be his only other matchup, but I don't know. Sasori's poison and speed's pretty dirty. Nah, he would probably lose to Sasori too.
I just think about how many win cons Sasori has, and it's just
you just throw a giant
pretty
iron sand pyramid infused with the deadliest poison.
But there's 1 minute in this video, and this man still won't let it play.
Just fall over and die, paralyzed.
Shakes out. thanks for coming. Everybody, make sure you go subscribe to Seth. Subscribe to the channel too if you want more Naruto content. Let me know what we got wrong that was like really egregious. Let us know if we used really.
I need a 10-hour response video now.
Well, you didn't get a 10-hour one, but you got
Yeah,
Get
tell us
what is
all
this?
Get me off the
arguments are
platform.
edgy and
I'm so glad they came in with that energy, bro. That's literally the best response they could possibly do for AKA Noodles and for any other retard losing their minds over this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard, bro. It's not rocket science. Like, Kishimoto literally spells it out. It's not hard, guys. It's really not. That was fucking perfect. Let's listen to that one more time. I feel like that was kind of a shot at Noodles and anyone else that's always reacting or fucking shit-talking them.
let me know what we got wrong that was like really egregious. Let us know if we used really.
I need a 10-hour response video now.
well, you didn't get a 10-hour one, but you got
Yeah,
Get
tell
me-
us
what is
all
this?
Get me off the
arguments are
platform.
edgy and yeah,
This video is almost 20 minutes long, bro, and this shit was a 2-hour video because of fucking dumbass Noodles. Are you kidding me? The amount of time this man wasted. Jesus. It's funny and it's worth it and it's comical and entertaining. You know what I mean? Obviously for me and for you guys watching this too. But Jesus Christ. Seth was on it.
or 30 minutes.
Susan from YouTube
Yep.
to publicly laugh at us and tell us we can't scale Naruto.
And then have her delete our channel.
Deidara versus Jiraiya.
Dumb.
Deidara stomps, bro. I'll slap anyone on Deidara versus Jiraiya. Bring me anybody, and I'll just run through them. What are they gonna do? I'll let them start out in Sage mode, bro. They can have it. They can have Sage mode. If anybody wants to join the Discord and debate me on Sage Jiraiya versus Deidara, I would be more than down. And I might even record it and upload it. Shoot. Deidara is just dirty, bro.
By all means, if you see this shit, Noodles, or maybe one of your weird ramen packs, hey, I'll throw down with you again, papa. Like, let's fucking do it. I'm gonna tell you right now, the fact that you're even speaking of Sage Mode Jiraiya, yeah, he would fucking clap Deidara. He would fucking demolish him. Look at fucking Sasuke in CM2, and Deidara was getting the fucking work, while Sasuke's holding back, bro. And you really gonna be that disrespectful and think Sage Mode Jiraiya can't do anything? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
You don't marry the.
Alright, so the video is now over. Like I already told you guys, if you want me to react to the other, like, fucking 20-something minutes that are left, okay, of the video, just to all the nonsense he's probably going to say afterwards, I can do that. I don't mind just doing another 30-minute video at least, or a 20-minute video to finish it off for this. If you want it, let me know down in the comments. And let me know what you guys think as well of how Jiraiya performs against, you know, from the top dogs, like from Kisame to Itachi, Pain and Obito. It should, in my opinion, you know, with Kisame, it can go either way, or more likely in favor for Jiraiya. For Itachi, that's a no-brainer. For Obito, it's a no-brainer. For Pain, we've seen it. Okay, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a rocket science, but I am curious, you know, if you guys have anything more to say with the other characters below. Just let me know what you think. Subscribe for more content, guys, on the channel. And give this video a like if you really enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Dislike.